special feeling in Oldsmobile. There is a special feeling in Oldsmobile. More than the luxury ride, it's a feeling of pride that you feel inside.
Hey everyone, and this is my 2021 Kia Forte FE. I bought this car about a week ago. I've been using it as my daily driver. It has replaced my 1986 Oldsmobile Forenza Cruiser with a 4-speed manual. But I won't be like retiring it or anything. It'll just be left to get fixed and maybe even restored next summer here. I plan to get it painted, the bodywork fixed, all that good stuff. So I wanted a modern car that'd take me back and forth to work. And unfortunately my Dodge Ram was starting to rust out and getting pretty bad on the frame. Because I thought it was just on the rockers, but turns out it was worse than that. And it got abysmal gas mileage. 14 miles a gallon when I was really trying to hypermile in quotation marks. But yeah, this is the Kia Forte. 4-cylinder, 15-inch steel wheels with Kumo Solstice wheels, the TA31s. So gonna be easy to get replacement tires for this, whatnot. Lots of rubber to soak up those bumps, especially on these Michigan roads. It's finished in a nice black. We'll see how it holds up over time. Interior is not really anything special, but it is simplistic. I do like the design of it. Everything's not all bubbly, I guess you would say. That's plagued cars for so long. Got a cup holder in the dash, a nice speaker with all the holes. They didn't have to do that, but they did. Power mirrors, power locks, and power windows, of course. It's got a dimmer for the dash, lane keep assist, which remains off by default, and of course your traction control off. You can tell it's a base model because it's got delete delete panels, or little plates I should say. So, and there's the dash. It's got a little, I think that's an 8-inch screen. I can't really tell the difference on the Kias. What's the difference between the 8-inch and the 10-inch besides the, you know, of course, 2 extra inches. But there's that. It's got a center speaker in the middle of the dash. Kind of reminds me of my 86 Mercury Monarch in that regard. But this car has a way better sound system. Got all physical climate controls, and speaking of that, it's pretty decently hot in this car. It's actually like really muggy out. But I wanted to show you this before we start the car, is the key fob. There's a little Kia logo there. If we can focus, you have the buttons on there, your alarm, trunk popper, lock and unlock, and they're like indented into it. So when it's in your pocket, you aren't going to accidentally hit something on the outside here. And this one even takes a little bit of pressure to open up the key. So you don't have to worry about the car starting or unlocking when it's in your pocket. Because I've had that happen before on my Ram when I was at work. You know, I'd be working on the trucks there, and, you know, my side will bump into something or the table or whatever. And I'll come out to my truck for lunch, and the truck's on, and just, it's burned like half a tank of gas, or not half tank, but a quarter tank of gas, because it's been running for hours. So, yeah, there's that. So, this has a physical key, which I really like, and it pops out like that. The dealership guy said it was like, kind of like a switchblade. So, but it's nice. And you got your, you know, an actual ignition, which is very rare on a new car these days. And I'm not sure if I actually mentioned it, but this car is a 6-speed manual car, which is really cool. And there's the mileage, 191,000. Or I'm so used to saying that, 191 miles. I'm not used to having new cars. This is actually my very first new car. Everything else has been used. So I'm the very first owner of this Kia. Never thought I'd say that one day. So I'll just leave the vents on low so it doesn't cook me alive in here. But yeah, I don't want the wind noise on there. But yeah, so 191 miles. It's been getting about 30 miles to the gallon in the city and about 40-ish on the freeway. That is about 4 times better than I was getting in the Ram. So I really, really like that. You see here's the Kia logo. You got your all your calls and stuff like that. Like, because you can connect your phone to it, which is pretty cool. If you'll focus, there you go. And then you have your cruise control, and then this button here is for, if I can focus, there you go, for all your systems, so you can change everything. That's pretty cool. Then you got your radio, the media, the apps and all that. So it's got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay if you have that available. You know, you have to actually connect it to that USB port there. So I haven't done it yet. Apparently there's going to be an update later this year that's supposed to make it wireless, I guess. So that's going to be neat. There's like actually not a module, it's just like the software itself, because like some people have it and some don't. And I know, like, if you have a Kia in Canada, I know that they don't have the wireless stuff yet for you guys. So that's going to be interesting on how they're going to roll up that update, because I imagine it goes against you know, with regulations for cars and stuff like that. And then the last thing is the voice memo. There's not a lot of options, of course, because it's, you know, it's a base model car in itself. But it's got little things, like I set up this little star button here to start the screen off, and you know, it just shows the time and the date. You can set this to a analog style clock, of course, or the digital, or you can just have it, you know, just be completely blank, shut it off completely. But I like that when I'm just driving around. Of course, you got your vents here, a full, like, it's all physical buttons for the climate control, which I really, really like. You'll never have to worry about this going out, or when the screen goes out, you know, you won't have your you'll still have your HVAC stuff. That's pretty cool. You got two cigarette lighters here, or well, I guess would be cigarette lighters, but they're the 12 volt power. And of course you have the manual shifter with the lockout for the reverse, which is pretty cool. And check this out, an actual physical handbrake. Press that, press it back up. There you go. I love this. No stupid electrical buttons that can, you know, end up locking on itself or something goes bad. It's all physical. As long as you keep up on the maintenance, don't let it get, you know, the lines rotted. You know, make sure that you keep the car rust protected, which I am going to do. I'm going to go to the Crown station and, you know, get this undercoated with the oil film. So yeah, pretty nice car. Has pretty nice seats. It holds you in well. Not the best material in the world, but they are comfy at least, and they hold you in with the side bolsters. But I think it's fine. It's not like over the top for sportiness. There is some comfort into it, which I like. So there's that. So let's shut this off, and then I'll show you underneath the hood. So here we are underneath the hood. This is a 2-liter port fuel injected inline 4. The last time I think they had a port injected engine. was, say, on my 90 Tornado back there. So that's some older school technology, but still gets great gas mileage and helps uncomplicate the engine. Granted, there's still a lot of stuff going on. You know, it's an over cam, yeah, dual overhead cam engine, or maybe it's just a single overhead cam engine. I still got to do more research on these, but from what I can tell, from 2020 on up, these are pretty good engines. People have gotten you know, a lot of miles out of them. But these engines, I chose this one specifically instead of, say, the 1.6 liter turbo, is because of maintenance. I want to take this car many miles. You know, this is going to be my daily driver. This is something I'm going to maintain myself once the warranty's all expired. Which, surprisingly, warranty's like 5 years and 100,000 miles on these cars. So I guess Hyundai / Kia are pretty, what would you call it? They're very sure of their drivetrain cars. You know, it's not going to break down on you, maybe unlike the early 2000s cars. But, you know, everything is pretty easy to get to underneath. The oil filter and the drain plug are right there, and there's even holes in the plate, like the under tray, if you will, to get at them. You can do it with simple hand tools even. Well, we'll start from the right and work our way left here. There's your air box. You can get to that easily. Mass airflow sensor, which I believe that's a mass airflow sensor. Don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly sure what these newer cars take these days, but we'll do 57.2% sure that it's a mass airflow sensor. I'll probably be wrong. Correct me if any information is wrong. Keep going. Here's the radiator, or at least part of it. But you got your upper radiator hose here, and right down there's the thermostat. So if you ever need to replace the, you know, thermostat housing gasket, even just the upper radiator hose, all easy to get to. Got your battery there, the computer, the ECM. Brake master and booster are a little harder, but I imagine if you move the computer and the battery out, and possibly the air box, it should be pretty easy to get back there. And then of course you got for your oil, that's all easy stuff. And this takes on a spin-on filter too. It's not a enclosed one where it'd be like on the top of the engine. So I kind of prefer that. Got your O2 sensor right there. Very easy, very accessible. Manifold is decently accessible back there as well. Of course, your valve cover gasket, because that will inevitably fail. And then you got your serpentine belt, your alternators right here, very easy. You have the engine mount, idler pulley, and then your water pump, maybe a little harder to get to. Not the most difficult thing in the world. I think this, what I believe is the AC line, might get in the way a bit, but it doesn't seem like it's the most difficult thing to get to. I've definitely worked on tighter cars, like those old Cadillac 4.9 liters. That was pretty much as tight as that. So nothing I can't do. And of course you have your intake here. Very easy. I believe, I'm not sure if that's like an evap, something to do with the evap, or a purge valve of some sort. So a little bit of emissions items. But yeah, they definitely cleaned up these engine bays over previous years. You don't have a whole bunch of emissions stuff out here. And I also know underneath this cover here, of course, you have your, you know what, should be able to just pop this off, right? Nope, there's bolts. There's bolts. We're not gonna mess with it. There's probably not bolts, but I don't want to mess with it. But I know that the spark plug in what would you call it? It's not like the wires, but it's, you know, what goes over top of the spark plugs nowadays. The coil packs, I guess. Those are all right there, easy to get to. So yeah, pretty little old school technology wrapped up in a newer form, and pretty efficient engine for today's standards. So I like a lot. So next I'll show you guys the trunk, and I think that'll finish off our tour. Oh, and I did want to show off this, just design wise, of how just clean this is. It's not over the top. It has working vents, at least partially. I mean, of course that one doesn't work, but all those do. And they actually exit to the brake caliper. It helps cool down the brake calipers. I mean, I doubt you need it on a car like this, and the brakes are really good on this thing, but hey, they actually made it functional, so I have to give them props like that, unlike a certain Honda that's out there that has a lot of these going on. So, and then of course the lights, pretty nice. And it even has fog lights, which these actually act as the running lights, daytime running lights on these cars. And of course you have the other light. Look at the grill. I was kind of partial to this kind of like tooth section in the middle, but it's definitely grown on me over time, especially when you look at the big picture of it. It's just pretty nice looking. Simple, easy, functional. Just how I like my cars. And here we have the trunk area. It's very cavernous. I don't know if you can catch this on video, but like there's a lot of space here, and then there's even more underneath. Of course, this car doesn't have the spare tire. I didn't opt for that because it's just a 15-inch steel wheel, which is a 5x114.3. I believe that's what this size is on this. But yeah, very easy to get a hold of one. But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.